critical questions. This is what I'm going to first ask you to do is look back at October. There's some weird light coming through this window, so hopefully you can still see me. Can't really see myself. First off is what to stop doing. What's one thing I should stop doing that kind of got in the way in October? What's one thing I should start doing that's new? And what should I keep doing? What was the biggest lever that I pulled last month to make progress come a little easier? In the day with exercise, whether it's a walk or a workout, I've got that 30 minutes to myself when I first wake up. And the stop one definitely coincides with this, right? If you go to bed early, you get up early, you have time for yourself. So those are the three I randomly chose as an example. I want to invite you all to share yours in the chat now so that there's some public accountability attached to it. So this is first, we look back on October, and then the next little exercise will have us moving forward. All right, don't all jump in at once, so I'm going to wait. Should have some Oscar's music playing in the background here. Put you on the spot. We got a Wins Wednesday, Kevin. Holy, that's fast. You just joined. A couple people have noticed that I've lost weight. Complimented me. Good stuff. Yeah, Linda with the foot, still making the steps happen within reason. All right, guys, someone's got to step up here. Or unmute yourself if you're not near a computer to text, but we want to hear. Yes, there we go. First one. Congratulations, Linda. You get a gold star. Stop getting frustrated with myself. Yeah, things outside of your control. Control the controllables. Keep having no phone time. Beautiful. And I'm going to start leaving my phone in another room. Good. Yes, because those devices will win the tug of war for sure if it's right there in front of you. All right, what else, Doreen? You got the need to start pre-planning meals. What about stop and keep? Good one. Nothing good comes from watching the news after 10 p.m. other than your stress hormones increase. Rob, we got to stop doom scrolling. Beautiful. We're going to pre-log meals, and we're going to keep limiting alcohol. Yes, and define the limit. Because if it's open-ended like that, when you've had one, that limit expands. Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, good. So hopefully everyone else has written theirs down, because this next step doesn't work quite as well until you've laid this foundation. Irene, stop buying the chips. Yeah, because if the chips are in your house, well, first they get into the shopping cart, they get in the car, they get into your house, then they get eventually into your stomach. So we talked about that, is eliminating the temptation by not having it in the house. And continue getting steps before 9 p.m. Nice. Okay. Keep them coming. I like it. So for those who are already done, we're going to move on to the power of three. So this will be a daily accountability system. I think I'm going to try to weave this into the challenge that's starting Monday as sort of that daily reporting we tried to get you to do last time, and only a small percentage stuck it out for all 30 days. Showed it to Shauna. She won the prize draw, randomly prize draw, because there was six or seven people that completed. So with that said, we're going to choose 3 questions that are absolutely critical to whether or not you achieve your goals. I thought that was about alcohol for a second, Rob. Drink 2 24-ounce bottles. I'm like, oh boy. So that's water. Thanks for clarifying that. Okay. You're going to answer them daily, either just on your own or part of your crew in the challenge, because I think that helps. If there's no one really looking at you, it's easy to kind of slip. And then we're going to track the patterns. So same idea. It's like 3 questions in the first exercise, but it's a little bit more specific here. So make them your own. Did I wake up at 7 a.m.? If not, why not? That's the key question. If not, why not? And you kind of just quickly journal to yourself. Did I track my cap accurately? If not, why not? So I've changed the description. Ignore this. I actually ended up changing this and didn't change the text. So I first said about opening your email first thing. I wanted to make it more specific to the fitness. And then did I avoid alcohol? If not, why not? Okay, so those are just 3 random ones again, but we want you to draft up 3, and it's just at the end of the day, questions you ask yourself, and if not, why not? And you're going to start to see patterns from that, right? So drop your powerful 3 questions in the chat as well. And this will kind of be your guiding light over the next 30-ish days for November. It's like the 3 big rocks you're focused on and asking yourself why. And then you end up coming up with solutions on your own or as part of your group. Quickly get a draft mine as well. Let me go back. Someone asked. So along these lines, 3 questions. All right. Don't all start at once. I'll put mine in there. Void. Okay. All right, we've got a few coming in. Did I hit 50 grams of protein for breakfast? That's a good one. Hit my goal of 2 24-ounce bottles of water. And did I limit my alcohol? Boom. Okay, good stuff. Linda, did I get my steps in? Did I turn my phone off for 2 hours each day? Nice. And did I leave my phone in the living room? All right, we know what your focus is. I like it. Mine was, did I avoid snacking after dinner? I have to maybe take that a step further. Down, because you're going to want to actually put this in your calendar daily as like a reminder. Power of 3. It should come up around bedtime or earlier. And you're going to try to ask yourself these questions. Okay. We all know daily accountability works. Big part of like trying to touch base with you guys if you miss workouts. Obviously, we have a cadence of wins Wednesday and finish strong Friday and the Monday check-in, but this is even taking it a step further. Like those 3 specific questions every darn day for the next month, because it will build consistency, or you'll start to see what's tripping you up, what are the patterns, and preventing drift is the key. Yeah, Linda. So you only want to make this about things that you need to improve adherence to, right? Which is good. Okay. So with that said, we will move on to the worksheet that you guys are probably familiar with. Generally, we do 90 days, but because timelines are tight here, I want to keep it focused on 55-ish days. So we'll round up to 60 here for these purposes. Anyone want to volunteer to kind of workshop and go through this? We usually do this once a month on Win the Month. It works better if we actually have an example of someone willing to put their neck on the line. So if not, I'll just kind of pretend we're working with someone, but I don't see any hands raised. Can't see everyone's face though, so going once. Linda can't talk, fair enough. Irene's got to leave for an appointment. I'm going to fix my blind and hopefully someone will have stepped out of that. So bright. Still bright. All right, best I can do. Okay. Guess I'm workshopping myself. Right? Nobody? We got a whole crew here too, and they're not. Okay. All right. So in our fictional example, The goal realistically is to like lose a few pounds by Christmas and then sort of maintain through those 2-ish weeks. So temper expectations for a typical target, unless you're at really early stages. I would say in 60 days, 5 pounds, and then maintain that. Okay. 2.5 pounds a month. I mean, honestly, real fat loss takes time. Most people fake fat loss with a bunch of water loss and starving themselves. So the goal is 1 pound a week for most. And oftentimes, percentage wise, it's a lot less than that, just depending on starting weight and everything else. So I think that's pretty realistic. You're going to have more staff, parties, and family obligations. It can be a tough time of year to really optimize, but we still want to make some progress. So cap target, for me, this is everything. 80% is good. 90% would probably do better, but at least that gives you a bit of an out. 6 out of 7 days per week, one maintenance day. That doesn't mean a cheat day. Maintenance day just means maybe 500 extra calories over your deficit for the other 6. Okay. So I'd be pretty confident that would lead to 5 pounds for most. That alone, but we want to obviously support it with fitness and health. So walking 8,000 steps, 80%. This is one lever if you have the time to get that even higher. 10,000 steps, but we'll take that for now. Yes, 80%, at least by my math, is 6 out of 7 days per week. And then 3x strength workouts weekly. Okay. So those are the big rocks. The little rocks we don't usually get into. Yeah, but if you want to actually go through this yourself, this document, sorry, I meant to share that. It's editable, right? You just have to rotate the view, and I wouldn't recommend doing it on a phone. It's going to be a pain in the butt, but desktop computer or download the PDF. Okay. So with that said, we're going to keep with that theme of pre-logging meals and prepping the day before, the night before, getting in that habit would be good, I think. And then scheduling workouts in my calendar. At least that's what I do. Because then it's blocked off. Nothing else can fill that void. By the way, I hate talking to myself on this. This would be more fun if someone else was doing it. What is going on here? It's jumping around. Okay, so this is the Monday check-in. That one works, okay. With your coach to review and assess and adjust, right? So by the end of things, hopefully we're down that 5 pounds. We can never really control the end result outcome, but I would bet if you follow these 3 process steps consistently, you're going to be getting that. Okay. So it seems very straightforward and simple on paper, but obviously hard to execute, be consistent. So what's the big obstacle for you going forward? I would ask you to ask that question, maybe share in the chat if you're open to it. What often trips you up? We've already kind of identified some through the 3 questions exercise, but I'd still like to kind of get that addressed as well. Addicted to the phone, yes. Social events, weekends. So if that was your challenge, then we might consider the 5-2, where we go a little more aggressive Monday to Friday or Sunday through Thursday. Maybe 1,800 calories. And then that gives you Friday, Saturday to be in maintenance, not just one maintenance day. Yeah, no worries, guys. I know you're listening at work. That's cool. Weekends a challenge. Yeah, okay. So that kind of answers that. Is potentially this strategy might work for you. Maybe it's like a protein only fast. Again, these are advanced strategies I don't recommend, generally speaking, but that's where you take the calories lower and over 50% from protein for 1 day a week. Pure misery, but works. Kind of cancels out. Ideally, it's just consistent, to a modest deficit each day where you're not dealing with that much hunger and you pick and choose your battles. Because the people that get in the habit of, opening themselves up to a free-for-all weekend tend to self-sabotage and break even. But this is one idea, one way to go about it, potentially. Emotional eating, Doreen. Yeah, I think that cravings guide I'm dropping in the group tomorrow should help with that to some degree. I think a lot of people are in that same boat. Anyone else want to unmute and go through that? Doreen, did you have anything specific on emotional eating? Like what triggers it? Or is it just depends on the day?
Yeah, it's just life gets in the way some days, and I just feel I need comfort. So I eat comfort food, which is not necessarily the best. I don't eat junk food. I'm not a chips eater, so, but I'll just overeat.
Hardy. Yeah, I mean, we're all kind of wired to do that. It's not necessarily the food we're after, it's what it provides. Maybe it's
Yeah,
well, dopamine.
exactly.
Yeah. So how do we swap that for something else that doesn't blow up our cap, right? It's like, oh, would a walk be helpful here? Maybe. It's hard to make that choice in the moment though. It's less
Yeah,
immediate.
yeah.
Maybe it's, some fruit, like, I don't know. It's hard to really boil it down. Every person's different, but like having some alternatives in the moment that you can kind of reach for that are going to satisfy without obviously the
Well, and hopefully I'll only do it, one meal or something, and then I can get back on track.
Yeah, and oftentimes, like Linda said, these things are triggered by, being hungry or tired or some combination of those things. So
Yeah.
how can we address being tired? Well, hey, we could do a little short yoga nidra or meditation that gets those stress hormones down. Maybe we don't require a snack after that. Or it's a high protein snack, like Rob said, alternative rather than trying to just suppress the craving. We address it with something better.
Yeah, yeah.
Being bored, that's my problem at night.
Yeah. Well, we're all kind of just busy and wired all day, and we don't even really think about food necessarily, except at mealtime. And then, yeah, all of a sudden we exhale at the end of the day. We realize maybe we're hungry because we underate all day, and that makes it challenging. So it's one thing is to, front load your protein and have more food so that you don't put yourself in a situation where you have a ton of cravings all of a sudden when you sit down and exhale. But oftentimes, like you said, it's just trying to fill the void, especially for busybodies that are always doing something. And yeah. So I don't know what the answer for you is, Diane. Healthier snack, keeping busy with something else.
Well, I do try and, stick to apples and things like that, but I personally would like salty things. That's the problem. So I try and find if there's anything that's low calorie, but, satisfies that snack. Or just eat dinner very late.
Yeah.
Because
That doesn't so much matter. It's overall calories in
the
every
thing is
24-hour
I'm not
period.
hungry. That's the joke. I'm not hungry, but I'm bored. So I just, go in the kitchen. I mean, I've got 3 laptops, a TV, some handhelds. Like, I mean, it's not that I don't have things I can't do, but after a long day, it's just.
Yeah, maybe what you need is to actually unplug from everything and just sit with your thoughts. Easier said than done, but that can
Yeah.
slow you down. And like I talked about that yoga nidra where it kind of prompts you, like, oh, focus in on your elbow now, your hand, and you kind of get out of your head into your body, and that can be a really effective
Yeah.
tool for just getting out of that state of fight or flight. Yeah, Rob, weed is a bad thing for dieters for sure. Because, well, it's actual science. Gives you the munchies. They're not just that's not made up. It's an actual thing. So good that you've gotten out of that. So that can be the trigger. So Linda, journals. Yeah, good. I know a lot of people like to watch TV at that time of night. Sometimes that's associated with snacking though, so you kind of have to break that connection. I know some people get their steps in while watching a show, and then obviously you're not going to be eating a bag of chips while you're on the treadmill. So that kind of eliminates that temptation. But Everyone's different. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully this was helpful. I would encourage you again to, if you didn't already, go through. I'll just move back through this quick. All right. First, the three critical questions to review October. Stop, start, keep. And then the three power questions for this month that you should, put into a prompt nightly. Can be any combination that help you with your goals or whatever areas, challenging your consistency. So did I wake up on time or go to sleep on time? Did I hit my nutrition target or cap? Did I avoid alcohol? And then ask that second question. If not, why not? And that's going to help you identify some patterns, right? Alrighty. Stop sharing. Anything else? Good engagement in the chat. I appreciate that. We'll send off the replay for this. Again, if you didn't sign up for the 6-week challenge, no shame in that game. You don't have to, but I find it's you versus you at the end of the day, but it helps with adherence, helps gamify the process a bit. And we have some new wrinkles, including the Facebook group for this one. So I would encourage you to check it out if you're on the fence. It's probably a sign to jump. All right. Cool. That's all for now. You guys have a good rest of your day. Talk to you soon.